Every morning for the last 50,000 years, a human being woke up stressed. Not because of emails. Not because of money. Not because of anything we'd recognize today. Because something out there, something with teeth, wanted to kill them. That human's body was running the exact same stress response you woke up with this morning. Same chemicals flooding the bloodstream. Same heart rate spiking. Same brain refusing to quiet down. Your anxiety isn't a modern problem. It's a 50,000-year-old solution, running in a world it was never designed for. And once you understand what it was actually built for, everything changes. The word stress, as a psychological problem, didn't even exist before the 1950s. One scientist, Hans Selye, essentially invented the concept after World War II. Before that, nobody had a clinical name for it. But the suffering? The suffering was always there. Scientists who study ancient skeletons can literally read stress from the body. And the most honest record keeper of all? Your teeth. Adult teeth form during childhood and never change after that. They don't heal. They don't remodel. Whatever happened to you as a child, whatever your body had to fight through, your teeth still carry it. If a child goes through starvation or serious illness, the body makes a choice. It stops growing tooth enamel to save energy. That pause leaves a permanent mark. A horizontal line pressed into the tooth. Still visible thousands of years later. We can look at someone who died 9,000 years ago and see the exact moments their body was in crisis. And what we're finding is disturbing. There was an ancient proto-city in what is now Turkey called Catalhoyuk. One of the earliest places where humans tried living together in large numbers. Farming, settling, building something that looked like civilization. Nearly every single person excavated from that site had stress lines on their teeth. Not some. Not most. Nearly everyone. Because when you crowd people together next to their animals and their waste, parasites thrive. Infection spreads. The switch to grain-heavy diets brought a kind of malnutrition that didn't exist before. Around 1 in 10 adults had dental cavities, their bodies paying the price of food their biology hadn't adapted to yet. This is what the beginning of civilization actually looked like. Not progress. A trait. But here's the detail that I keep coming back to. Before farming, hunter-gatherer children developed those stress markers in their teeth around age 3.5. After the farming revolution, children in these new settled communities started showing the same marks at 3 years old. 6 months earlier. In an adult life, 6 months is nothing. In early childhood, it means something went wrong sooner. The body started making hard decisions sooner. And we chose that. We built that. We called it progress. And then there's Ötzi. Ötzi the Iceman lived 5,300 years ago in the Alps. He was eventually murdered, an arrow to the back, out of nowhere. But before he decayed, researchers found something remarkable. A single surviving fingernail. A fingernail records what the body has been through the same way teeth do. And that one nail revealed 3 separate waves of intense stress. 4 months before his death. 3 months before. 2 months before. The last one lasted at least 2 weeks. We'll never know what those moments were. We never will. But we know he was fighting something again and again right up until someone killed him. A stranger who died 5,300 years ago. And his fingernail is still telling us he was going through it too. Here's the part that changes how you see everything. The human stress response was shaped in a world where threats were short, acute, violent and fast. You either outran the predator or you didn't. The flood either passed or it didn't. And then, it was over. Your body recovered. The alarm turned off. We are extraordinarily good at that kind of stress. Explosively good at it. It kept every single one of your ancestors alive long enough to have children. What we were never built for is chronic stress. The kind that doesn't kill you today but just keeps running. The low hum that lives in the background of a bad job, a broken relationship, a future that feels uncertain. It doesn't threaten your life right now, it just quietly wears down your immune system, your heart, your sleep, your ability to feel okay. And because it didn't kill people young, evolution never had any pressure to solve it. There was no survival advantage to handling 30 years of low-grade dread. So we just don't have a system for it. Nobody does. Nobody ever did. And it wasn't just the body that suffered. We can't diagnose people who died thousands of years ago. But look at this, great apes show signs of depression. Whales. Parrots. If animals with far simpler brains can spiral into states that look unmistakably like despair, the idea that early humans didn't is almost impossible to defend. Go back and read ancient texts. The Greeks wrote about something they called melancholia, a heavy, persistent darkness of the mind. Other cultures called it a nervous stomach, a nervous attack, being possessed by something dark. The language was different everywhere. The experience underneath it was the same. People have always had years that almost broke them. Always carried grief that didn't go away. Always lain awake in the dark with something pressing on their chest they couldn't name. You are not uniquely broken. You are living in a very old kind of pain. So here's what I want you to sit with. Your ancestors survived ice ages. They survived the brutal shock of early civilization. Famine, disease, loss, the death of people they loved. All of it with this exact body. The one you're in right now. The system works. Has always worked. But it was designed for a world where the threat passed. Where after the crisis there was stillness. Recovery. A moment for your nervous system to close the loop it had opened. That's what it's asking from you now. Not a productivity system. Not a supplement. Not a perfect morning routine. Just the thing it has always needed, the signal that it's okay to stop. Real rest. Real quiet. Enough of a pause for an alarm that has been running for 50,000 years to finally turn off. You're not failing at being human. You're carrying a 50,000-year-old body through a world that was built last Tuesday. And the fact that you're still standing? That's not weakness. That's the whole point.